And so what I would like to say is we're very new at this, and so this is our first time doing this, and we're hoping that we're live on both Facebook and Instagram. The first thing we're going to do is go through a horoscope for the next period of time. Mike wants to talk to you about that, and then we're going to talk a little bit about mantras, and then we're going to do some chanting. So while Mike is talking about not Vastu, the Jyotish astrology, I'm going to send a few messages to confirm that we're on live on Facebook, because I know we're on live on Instagram. Go on ahead.
So as many of you know, yesterday we went into Mercury retrograde, and that will last until February 21st. And so what does Mercury retrograde mean for you, mean for the world? So basically what it does is, retrograde means review, redo, renew, rebuild, and so just what you want to do is think about how that might apply to the world and your life. And so it's Mercury retrograde is going to be in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign. It means stability, but it also can mean stubbornness or inflexibility. So whatever we can do to be more flexible is the lesson. And then Mercury itself is that part of us that wants to be critical and pull things apart. And Mercury is always trying to teach us to bring things together, not pull things apart. So Capricorn represents government, it represents business, it represents finance. And so there's going to be a rebuilding of the economy, and hopefully some of you will be getting stimulus checks. That will be helpful. But in Jyotish or Vedic astrology, we go by the sidereal zodiac, not Western astrology, which goes by the tropical zodiac. So if you were to ask an astronomer today where the planets are, it would be the sidereal zodiac. And then we go by the rising sign, not so much the sun or moon sign. And so it will be different than what you're acquainted with in Western astrology. So basically, if you're, I'm just going to kind of go through your rising signs, and if you need to know your rising sign and want to get a Vedic astrology reading, you can go to vastucreations.com and go for a yearly reading. And if you use the discount code full moon, one word, not two words, you would get 20% off. But I'm just going to do some generally. If you knew your rising sign, if your rising sign is Capricorn, that means Mercury is going to be in the first house. And the really interesting thing about this Mercury retrograde, it's in the same house with 6 or 7 other planets. So very, very, very powerful. So in Capricorn, if your rising sign is Capricorn, you're going to be looking at what can you do to improve, what can you do better to improve your self-esteem? Because all of us go through periods of self-doubt and not feeling worthy. And then if your rising sign is Sagittarius, you would be, the Mercury is transiting the second house. Second house has to do with your finances. So what could you do better to improve your finances? You know, looking at a budget, other income streams, watching your spending on things that you really don't need. And then if your rising sign is Scorpio, Mercury would be transiting the third house. That's the house of how we communicate, our self-expression. So looking at ways to improve how you express yourself, whether it's journaling, writing a book, doing a blog or podcast, all of those types of things. Then if your rising sign is Libra, Mercury would be going through the fourth house. That's happiness and home life. So you might be looking at doing some decorating, things that you've been putting off, kind of organizing, decluttering, or you might even be thinking about moving and thinking about what makes you happy in this life. Then if your rising sign is Leo, or Virgo, Mercury would be transiting the fifth house. Fifth house is all about creativity. So any projects that you've been thinking about doing, creative projects, now's the time to go forward with that. Also, you might be looking at investing. Now, the general rules of Mercury retrograde are to avoid signing contracts, to not making major decisions, also backing up your computer, because anything that's electrical may malfunction during this period of time. Also, it's a time where we get to be forgetful. Where did I leave my keys? You know, where is my phone? Where's my glasses? Things like that that can come up, just to be aware of. So just to finish off, so we have if your rising sign is Leo, the Mercury would be moving through your sixth house. So that's about health and healing. So you might want to think about, eating better, what you can do to eat better during this time, or some new exercise regime. If your rising sign is Cancer, then the Mercury will be moving through your seventh house. That's partnerships and relationships. So what can you do to improve your relationships? Listening more, trying to avoid arguments, seeing how other people, their perspective is, seeing life through the eyes of your friends and partners. If your rising sign is Gemini, Mercury would be moving through the eighth house. Now, this could be a time of a little bit of emotional stability, but that's at the same time, your intuition will be very much heightened. So, great time to kind of look into the deeper meanings of life. If your rising sign is Taurus, then the Mercury would be moving through your ninth house. Ninth house has to do with your belief system. Also can have something to do with your father, whether he's alive or not, healing some part of that relationship. So looking at if you have any belief systems that are limiting you from moving forward, growing spiritually and materially, looking at those. If your rising sign is Aries, then Mercury would be moving through the 10th house of career. So what can you do to make your career better? What can you do to make your career more satisfying? What kind of relationship you have with your boss and coworkers? If your rising sign is Pisces, then Mercury would be moving through the 11th house. 11th house has to do with income. So again, you would be looking at your income and also friends. What you can do to make better relationships with your friends, or expanding your network of friends. And if your rising sign is Aquarius, Mercury would be moving through the 12th house. 12th house is the end, tidying up things that have loose ends, finishing things that you've started and haven't quite completed yet. So looking at that. So just generally, just be more aware this time period, so that you back up everything and realize that there can be a little more stress around communication. You may have to be careful what you say. So those are just some tips. And again, if you want to know more deeply about how the planets during this month and all the months of the year are going to be affecting you, and also practical remedies that can help you move more graceful through this period of time. Go ahead.
Thanks. So, the reason that we began Mantra Mondays is that we really feel that mantras have a way of uniting us no matter where we are in the world. And it helps us manifest more grace into our lives and support each other and Mother Earth. And definitely during this time of transition that we're all going through because of COVID and just all the unrest in the world, that we really felt that this would be a great time to bring some positive energy onto the planet. And why? One of the reasons why I've done this is that I've always wanted to do a manifestation circle to set our intentions and chant for each other, bless ourselves and each other and the world with love, kindness, and positive energy. And what I really want you to know is the power of your own being, and that you are never alone. And I have learned over many years of being on a spiritual path that there have been times where I felt that I wasn't in control of my life, and that other people, situations were far more powerful than I was. But when I really focused on my spiritual life and the practices that I have learned over the years, my life somehow became a lot easier. And I began realizing that the divine really supports us, and it supports us more intensely when we consciously connect, like when we intentionally connect with the divine. It creates some sort of an alchemy that unites our hearts and mind as one, and it's very powerful. And what I would appreciate it if you would let us know how what we're doing feels. I'm hoping we're on Facebook. I see that we are, but then I'm not sure. But I know I can tell right now we are on Instagram. So this is really brand new, and we're just winging it this time. So you really need to give us some feedback and let us know if this works for you. And we will continue doing it every week if it does. I ignited the altar earlier because I wanted to set the energy in our space for abundance. And this is a abundance altar that I created. It's a little different looking than the full moon altar. The thing about the abundance altar is that it is in the north. It's a directional altar, and there are the colors of green and gold are represented on the altar. Doesn't need to be everything, but there should be colors of green and gold, even if it's in the flowers. And I use silk flowers today because it's winter here, and our abundance of flowers in the park across the street from where we live are kind of limited. Mike likes to go over there and pick me flowers in the morning. I think it's very sweet. So they're not really happening right now. The altar is ignited. It's focused on our communal, our community abundance in our happiness, our prosperity, our ongoing good health, and peace on the planet, which I think are covering most of the things that we wanted to chant about today. So we chant to align ourselves with the forces of nature and to surrender the outcome. And I think this is, for me, one of the most important things, because there's a lot of information out there in the world about how to manifest. And I used to be really good at using these tools and techniques, but I got even better when I surrendered. and if you place your desire in your offering tray, like we did here, I put the words abundance, love, improved health, and peace on a piece of paper, and then you ignite your altar. And one of the things that I've used to ignite my altar with is this Sri Yantra, and we carry these on our website at vastucreations.com. And the Sri Yantra, which is this symbol behind me, is the most powerful symbol in the universe. At least that's what I think. And this is a copper representation of that. And I put that in here. I also have one of these keystones that Michael creates. They're made from the highest crystal count of marble that he could find, and that conducts a lot of energy, and it has a sacred symbol that's used in Vedic knowledge for moving energy. So it's very, very powerful. Powerful for protection and powerful for creating the manifestation that we want in our lives. And also today when we're going to chant, I'm going to use these sandalwood beads. We carry these also. If you don't have a necklace for doing what we call japa, which is one of the mantras we're going to chant, I'm going to chant 108 times, and you can follow along with me. And the way I keep track is by moving my finger from bead to bead as I'm chanting. That way my mind is not activated and I can relax and just continue chanting until I reach the final bead, which is called the guru bead. And this necklace has 108 beads, and that is kind of one round of chanting for many people who chant a lot of different mantras or the same mantra maybe 10 times through 108 repetitions. So I'm going to just do one of the chants through 108 times, and but we're going to start with the long, slow Om Namah Shivaya. I'm going to drink a little water first. So I'm gonna chant the long, slow Om Namah Shivaya 9 times through, and you can join in. And Mike is going to keep count for me on this one. Okay. Just close your eyes. The reason we chant is to unite our hearts and minds as one. And this chant, I love this chant. It clears the atmosphere, brings so much peace into the environment. We not only do this for ourselves, we do this for our homes, we do this for our family, we do this for our community, and we do this for the world. And it's very powerful. So here goes.
It's also a form of pranayama. Normally we breathe 17 times per minute, but during this long, slow Om Namah Shivaya, the breath rate slows way down, so that it brings a lot of peace to the body, and it slows down to 1 or 2 or 3 breaths per minute.
We're not going to be breathing that limited amount of time. If you start doing this chant and you run out of breath, take a breath. It takes a while to be able to hold the breath as long as I do for this, and sometimes I even catch myself having to breathe extra. So you're just really slowing the breath and relaxing the mind and the nervous system. So here we go. And slowly, gradually open the eyes. I hope that was nice for everybody, and for those of you that chanted along, that you could feel the silence in your home or workspace that you're in. And now I'm going to do one chant through Amritanjaya. And I know this is a tongue twister, and in our next newsletter, I'll put this in there because I think it's worth people learning. It is a tongue twister. This goes, 3 people contacted us who had health issues over the last few days. And I would really like you to put your attention on these 3. Bart in Belgium, who is struggling with an autoimmune disease. Our dear friend Shubha, who is in Washington State and who, I just feel like I'm gonna cry, recently had a stroke, and her daughter Jyoti, who is like one of our kids and a wonderful woman, let us know, and we really want to bless Shubha for hoping to get well soon. And then Daniel, who is in New Jersey, his wife is one of our students, and he's going in for surgery next week.
And then Steve in Miami, who has some health issues that he's struggling with.
So these 4, while I do this chant, if you would close your eyes and just send them love, really appreciate it. Om Trayambagam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivartanam Urvarukamiva Bantana Murukyor Mukshi Amamruta. Sorry about that. And now we're going to chant the Om Mahalakshmaya mantra, the Lakshmi mantra. And the chant is Om Mahalakshmaya Namaha. This is a wonderful chant to do daily. It blesses you with good health, happiness, success, and inner peace and peace on the planet. We're going to chant this for ourselves, for the community here, and for Mother Earth. And I will keep track with my mantra bead necklace. It's best to close your eyes when you're chanting. It just, you really feel it more deeply. So I hope you chant along with me. So here goes. Om Mahalakshmaya Namaha. 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 Slowly open the eyes. And now Michael is going to chant for world peace and chant the Shanti mantra.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvina Vaditamastu Ma Vivishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
A few reminders. Next Monday we will be doing a relationship altar and we're going to ignite it together. And this is a perfect time if you are on the path looking for manifesting a loving relationship in your life, or improving relationship that you do have, or having a better relationship with yourself and your friends and family, this is going to be a wonderful time to set your intentions for the during this relationship altar that will ignite for Valentine's Day, which in the United States is coming up on the 14th. So one thing I would like to just offer is that for those of you who are seriously looking for a relationship with another, this is an amazing book that Michael and I wrote several years ago. And I had a great test group of 25 women who I would send chapters to while I was writing this book. And I asked them to go through the chapters and to do the practices. And several of the women in that group found true love. It was pretty amazing. So it is a good time to initiate a practice of self-love, because this book isn't about the regular ways that we used to think that you go find a relationship. It is about magnetizing that relationship to you by clearing out the space and the clutter in your mind and your environment to support that. So very good book, very fast read. I highly recommend it. I actually like reading it myself. So that's that book. Also, all these altars that we do come from our book, Altars of Power and Grace, which is based on my graduate work in health systems design. And so I just wanted to put that out there. It is out of print. Unfortunately, because we're not printing in China right now, and but you can get it digitally. It's a download on our website, or you can get it on Amazon. The other book, Making Room for Mr. Right, by my publisher is Atria, which is a division, or was a division of Simon & Schuster, which I think it is still. So that book you can buy in paperback or digitally. So those are two. I also wanted to remind you that there is the discounts that we have, that we put out on our newsletter and on our blog, are still available until Friday night at midnight, and that is the yearly astrological reading with Michael and the Vastu consultation with Michael. Both of them are amazing, and they're 20% off. And if you use full moon, lowercase, altogether, full moon, when you're checking out, you'll get that 20% discount. Both the mantra beads, the sandalwood mantra beads, and the yantra, we also sell on our website, and we have a limited supply of each. So if you're interested, I would jump on that. The next Vedic full moon altar activation we will have on Thursday, February 25th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. The moon is full Saturday early in the morning, Pacific time, 12:19 a.m. I like to build the altar as the moon is gaining in fullness, so I would suggest, if you are going to hop on that activation call, that you also build your full moon altar sometime Thursday, and we'll activate it together at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And Mantra Mondays, which is what we just did, yay, is going to be weekly, so please mark your calendar for that, and spread the word to your friends. And let us know what you think, because this is really our first time doing it, and this has been a dream of mine for several years to do. So I'm so thankful for the support I've gotten from my guides, especially I work closely with Mother Mary. I'm really love the divine feminine energy, and I have felt very supported to do this and guided by her. So I thank her with all my heart, and I thank my husband Michael for being patient with me and supporting my dreams. And I thank all of you, because without you, this would just be me doing this by myself. And though I love doing it, it's so much more fulfilling to share it with others. And I do hope you get something out of this. And I also hope that you share how you feel about these things that we're offering you online, because it makes a difference to us to hear your thoughts, and your comments mean a lot. Anything else? That's it. We love you guys. See you next time. Tell me how you save. Maybe somebody knows. I can't read that. Can you just tell me?
So you want to share it to
Thank you so much.
Share it to
No, I wanted
HDV.
to. I don't want to share it. I
Oh.
wanted to stop, because I just want to stop it, and then we're going to share it in a little bit. So, hi everybody. Thank you for being here. And if I only knew how to stop this, that would be really great. So, others. So,
In the top left to save.
yeah.
Top left. Click that top left.
No.
That's what it says, top left.
Well, all I have in the top left is Vastu Creation. So, and then it says live.
And you are to end. Confirm. Now you go in the top left side.
So.
To turn the camera off. What about this X?
Well, I don't think that gets it to stop.
Why don't you call her with my phone and ask her?
Here. Sorry guys, we're just having trouble figuring out how to turn this thing off. If anybody knows how to stop a Facebook, an Instagram live, edit it first and then save. So end it first. How do we end it, Candace? That's where I'm not sure. It's not showing up, obviously.